Easy to read, easy to predict, easy to pressure, but a person who observes, that person becomes a puzzle. Their silence becomes unsettling. Their calm becomes threatening. Most people think wealth comes from excitement, constant movement, dramatic risks, and glamorous decisions. But the truth, Machiavelli's real secret is the opposite. A boring life, a predictable routine, a disciplined mind, and a calm strategy are the true engines of disgusting, unstoppable wealth. You don't rise by chasing stimulation. You rise by eliminating noise, training your mind like steel, and living in a way that looks boring to the world but feels powerful on the inside. A boring life is not truly boring. It is controlled. It is precise. It is intentional. It means you are not pulled by the chaotic desires of the crowd. You are not reacting to every distraction. You are not seeking constant entertainment. You are building. You are compounding. You are sharpening your mind quietly while everyone else is exhausting theirs loudly. This quiet focus becomes lethal over time because while others burn energy proving themselves, you are accumulating power in silence. When your life is predictable, your results become exponential. You no longer waste energy deciding what to do. Your habits decide for you. Your discipline becomes the engine of your success. Machiavelli understood something most people never will. A leader who is predictable to himself becomes unpredictable to everyone else. Your calm routine hides your rising strength. Your boring, schedule hides your growing strategy. People only see the final explosion of success. They never notice the slow, silent years that built it. True wealth comes from repetition, from mastery, from doing the same powerful actions every day until the world cannot ignore you anymore. But the average person fears repetition. They crave novelty. They want pleasure every day. They want highs, thrills, stimulation, and comfort. And that is exactly why they will never hold power. The world is designed to keep people distracted. Every beep, every notification, every useless opinion steals a piece of their mind. But when you choose boredom, you are choosing immunity. You are choosing to step outside the matrix of distractions that enslaves everyone else. A boring life protects your time, and time is the only true currency of power. If your day is filled with noise, you are poor. But if your day is structured, clear, and focused, you are rich long before money arrives. Boring routines build the type of discipline that makes wealth inevitable. You become someone who works when others hesitate, who moves when others wait, who creates when others consume. You become dangerous without ever raising your voice. The world worships talent, but it should worship consistency. Talent is fragile. Consistency is unstoppable. A boring life is simply consistency in disguise. It makes you look ordinary on the surface, but beneath that surface, your habits are shaping you into someone extraordinary. And because your life is not chaotic, your emotions become stable. You are not ruled by anxiety, fear, or impatience. Wealth flows to the emotionally stable. Power flows to the mentally calm. Influence flows to the person who is unaffected by noise. The richest people on earth do not chase excitement. They repeat the same winning actions for years without boredom because they understand something simple. Greatness is the child of repetition. Mastery is the product of routine. Wealth is the reward of long, boring, disciplined seasons. And while the world laughs at your quiet lifestyle, they will not laugh at the results it creates. A boring life removes the poison of comparison. You stop watching what others are doing. You stop competing with their lifestyle. You stop craving what they show online. Instead, you become obsessed with what actually matters, creating, learning, growing, investing, and protecting your energy. When your mind is no longer pulled outward, it turns inward, and that inner silence becomes your superpower. Your thoughts become sharper. Your decisions become wiser. Your goals become clearer. And with clarity comes speed. Most people fail because they seek too many things at once. Their desires are scattered, their efforts are diluted, and their attention is fractured. But when your life is boring, your desires become simple. You want to win. You want to grow. You want to master your craft. You want to escape the chaos that destroys potential. And because your life is simple, your focus becomes absolute. That is why you rise faster. That is why you grow stronger. That is why you become disgustingly rich while others get stuck in the same loop of distraction and regret. A boring life gives you power over yourself, and self-power is the highest form of wealth. Money only magnifies the person you have already become. If you are unstable, money will destroy you. If you lack discipline, money will escape you. If you are addicted to excitement, money will slip through your fingers. But if you live with routine, calm, focus, and long-term thinking, money will compound naturally, without effort, because your mind is built to preserve and grow it. Machiavelli taught that the strongest leaders are those who control themselves before they control the world. A boring life is simply controlled living. You wake up with purpose. You move with clarity. You choose your actions. You do not let emotions dictate your path. This psychological dominance over yourself makes you immune to the chaos of the world. People around you act impulsively. You act strategically. People react. You anticipate. People chase pleasure. You chase progress. And in the long game of life, strategy always conquers impulse. Eventually, your boring life begins to look mysterious to others. They wonder how you stay calm. They wonder why you do not involve yourself in drama. They wonder why you are not addicted to entertainment. But what they really sense is your rising power. The quieter you become, the louder your results get. The more boring your days become, the more exciting your future grows. The more disciplined your routine becomes, the more explosive your success appears. And when your wealth finally arrives, people will call you lucky. They will say you were blessed, chosen, or gifted. They will never understand the truth. They will never grasp the years of repetition, the silence, the sacrifice, the discipline, the nights of study, the mornings of focus, the rejection of distractions, the self-mastery, and the calm, predictable routine that built you. They will never understand that your boring life was actually the most powerful choice you ever made. The world rewards those who can delay gratification. It rewards those who choose long-term power over short-term pleasure. It rewards those who build slowly instead of living loudly. And the boring person, the one with routine, discipline, and focus, is the only one capable of playing the long game. Wealth is not a sudden event. It is the visible result of invisible habits. And those habits are born in the silence of a boring life. In the end, a boring life is not the goal. It is the strategy. It is the weapon. It is the foundation that creates a life so successful, so powerful, and so abundant that the world eventually calls it extraordinary. The life that looks boring today becomes the life that looks enviable tomorrow. And the person who is disciplined enough to stay consistent becomes the one who rises above everyone else. So embrace the routine. Embrace the repetition. Embrace the silence. Let your life be boring to the world so your future can be breathtaking to yourself. Because in a noisy world full of weak minds chasing stimulation, the one who chooses boredom becomes the one who owns everything. When you live a boring life, you become invisible to the predators of distraction. People will try to pull you into drama, gossip, social comparison, or instant gratification. They will try to seduce you with chaos because chaos is what they thrive on. But when you reject that noise, when you stay calm, disciplined, and focused, you are untouchable. The more boring your life looks, the more dangerous it becomes because it is no longer ruled by impulses or fleeting desires. It is ruled by strategy, patience, and unyielding self-control. Disgusting wealth is not a gift. It is a byproduct of careful, intentional, and sometimes tedious action over years. Every book you read, every habit you perfect, every morning you wake early and execute your plan, compounds like interest in a secret bank that no one else knows exists. While everyone else chases pleasure, you are stacking power. While they are burning energy on fleeting highs, you are accumulating influence. The world often confuses excitement with importance, but excitement is fleeting. Importance is boring, consistent, and enduring. People will mock you for your boring habits. They will say life is too short to live like that. They will celebrate recklessness and mistake it for courage. But Machiavelli would tell you to ignore their applause. Their chaos is their trap. Their distraction is their weakness. And your calm, measured, boring approach, that is your strength. The more others burn out, the stronger you grow. The more they chase, the more you wait, prepare, and strike. Wealth does not rush to the chaotic. It seeks the stable, the patient, the strategic, and the silent. Boring life builds mental immunity. You are no longer easily manipulated. You are no longer swayed by trends, the opinions of others, or fleeting emotions. You are no longer a slave to social media, flashy advertisements, or the culture of instant gratification. Your mind is free, disciplined, and calculating, and a free mind is a weapon. A disciplined mind is a fortress. A calculating mind sees opportunities that the distracted cannot even imagine. That is why boring lives create the richest people, not just in money, but in influence, control, and legacy. Your focus becomes unshakable. Every decision is filtered through strategy. Every choice is measured against long-term gain. Every action is deliberate. The chaos around you is irrelevant because you are anchored by habit, routine, and vision. The world thinks it sees you living a simple life. In truth, you are the architect of a complex empire, built quietly, piece by piece, day by day, while everyone else is lost in spectacle. You're boring. Life is your disguise. Your ordinary exterior hides extraordinary results. The boring life teaches patience, and patience is power. Immediate rewards are dangerous because they teach you nothing about long-term control. Instant gratification is the trap of weak minds. But those who live boringly understand delayed satisfaction. They understand compounding results. They understand that every small, consistent effort is a brick in the fortress of wealth. And over time, that fortress becomes impenetrable. When money finally comes, it finds you ready. When opportunities finally arrive, you are prepared. When influence is finally available, you are positioned. Embrace boredom because it gives clarity. The world is full of noise, and noise creates confusion. Noise clouds judgment. Noise weakens resolve. Noise destroys wealth, but boredom clears the mind. It allows you to see patterns, predict outcomes, and make decisions with precision. The richest people on the planet are those who see clearly, act deliberately, and avoid unnecessary distraction. Their boring life is not a failure of imagination, it is a victory of strategy, vision, and discipline. Living a boring life also strengthens your relationships. You choose your circle carefully because you have time, focus, and standards. You do not waste energy on toxic people, shallow connections, or those who are distractions. You attract the right allies, people who understand value, patience, and long-term thinking. And in the world of wealth and power, the right network is everything. Boring lives create selective circles, and selective circles create strategic empires. Every habit you form in a boring life becomes a weapon. Every discipline, every ritual, every focused morning, every controlled action is a silent declaration. You are not distracted, you are not weak, and you are not available for mediocrity. The boring life sharpens you into someone who is immune to chaos, capable of extraordinary focus, and ready to seize opportunities that others will never notice. In essence, your life may seem dull, but your results will seem miraculous. So reject the false allure of excitement. Reject the lure of sensation. Reject the belief that life must be dramatic to be meaningful. Instead, embrace the grind, the repetition, the quiet power of a structured life. Let the world think you are boring while you secretly accumulate the wealth, influence, and control they will never achieve. Let them laugh at your calm mornings, your simple routines, your boring focus, because when they are exhausted chasing thrills, you will be unstoppable. In the final analysis, the boring life is the ultimate Machiavellian strategy. It is quiet, it is invisible, it is deliberate, it is protected, and it builds disgustingly rich, powerful, and unshakable individuals. The world may never understand how a boring life can create unimaginable wealth, but it will certainly notice the results, and in the end, that is all that matters. The life that looks boring is the life that wins everything. The life that looks ordinary is the life that leaves everyone else in the dust. If you want, I can expand it even further to reach a full 25 to 30-minute delivery, adding pauses, rhetorical questions, and Machiavellian hooks that make it feel like a speech rather than just a written monologue. This gives it a true cinematic, hypnotic flow. Most people think life is meant to be exciting. They chase thrills, drama, social approval, and constant stimulation. But every thrill has a cost, and every distraction steals something far more valuable than a temporary high of time, your focus, your clarity, and ultimately your power. A boring life, the kind the world mocks, is actually the ultimate camouflage. It hides your preparation, your growth, and your future domination. While the world is busy showing off, you are quietly building an empire in the shadows. A boring life is not without reward, it is full of hidden treasures. Each disciplined morning is a step toward mastery. Each hour spent focusing on a craft, investing, learning, or strategizing is an investment in power that compounds silently. The world seeks shortcuts and excitement, but shortcuts lead to failure, and excitement leads to distraction. Wealth, true, unstoppable wealth, comes to those who endure the long, silent grind. Those who embrace monotony while others run in circles, exhausted, anxious, and directionless. A boring life builds patience, and patience is the mother of all power. Every decision you delay, every temptation you resist, every immediate pleasure you refuse, strengthens your mind like steel. The chaotic lives of others leave them exhausted, stressed, and enslaved by emotion. You, however, operate with calm, deliberate intelligence. You are immune to manipulation because your habits have trained you to control your impulses. This is the real secret of the rich. They are not necessarily luckier or smarter than you. They are calmer, more consistent, and more predictable in their self-discipline. Disgusting wealth comes to the patient. It comes to the strategic. It comes to those who can resist the illusion of life's endless excitement. A boring life protects your energy, and energy is currency. Every time you avoid distraction, you are saving power for something that actually matters. Every time you ignore gossip, drama, or social approval, you preserve your focus. Every time you choose routine over thrill, you are creating leverage for the future. And leverage is the mother of influence, and influence is the mother of money. A boring life allows you to see the truth the world cannot see. While everyone else is entangled in emotion, fear, and desire, you are observing patterns. You are seeing opportunity where others see chaos. You are predicting outcomes that others cannot predict because their lives are too loud, too scattered, too reactive. In the silence of a boring life, your mind becomes a weapon. You think clearly, act strategically, and strike decisively when the time is right. This is how the invisible build empires that the world cannot imagine. The richest, most powerful people are not dramatic. They do not chase social approval. They do not gamble with their attention. They are boring. They wake up early. They follow habits. They pursue clarity, and they repeat these actions every day until the world can no longer ignore the results. Wealth does not come from spectacle. It comes from accumulation. It comes from the compounding effect of repeated, disciplined actions over years. And a boring life is the soil in which that compounding grows. A boring life teaches self-mastery. Most people are slaves to their desires, their moods, their cravings, and their impulses. They think they are free, but they are constantly reacting to the world. You, however, are free because your life is predictable. Your routine dictates your actions, not your emotions. Your habits dictate your behavior, not external chaos. You have trained yourself to operate above reaction, above distraction, above impulsive thinking. And self-mastery is the ultimate form of power because it allows you to control what truly matters, your focus, your time, your decisions. Most people will never understand this. They will call your life dull. They will say you are missing out. They will try to lure you into chaos with promises of excitement and temporary pleasure. Let them. While they burn energy on meaningless pursuits, you are building wealth, influence, and freedom. While they chase validation, you are creating value. While they fall into emotional traps, you are building a fortress around your mind. The boring life is your secret weapon. It makes you invisible while you grow unstoppable. Wealth, influence, and power are not accidents. They are the inevitable result of compounding effort, self-discipline, and long-term strategy. The chaotic life produces chaos. The loud life produces noise. The bored, disciplined, silent life produces empires. If you want to be disgustingly rich, you must embrace boredom as a strategy, not a punishment. You must embrace repetition, focus, and long-term thinking as the engine of your growth. You must be willing to live in a way that feels unexciting today, knowing that tomorrow it will make you untouchable. A boring life also makes your choices simpler. You no longer react to every distraction, temptation, or social expectation. Your goals become clear. Your path becomes straight. Your vision becomes sharp. And clarity is rare in a noisy world. When you can see clearly while others are blinded, you gain an advantage so massive it is almost unfair. You can strike when opportunity arrives, unafraid, unhurried, and unstoppable. That is how empires are built quietly, invisibly, without fanfare or attention. Finally, a boring life transforms your relationship with money. Most people chase wealth frantically, anxiously, and emotionally. They spend before they earn, gamble before they plan, and react before they strategize. But the boring life breeds patience, planning, and control. You invest strategically, you save methodically, you accumulate quietly, and when wealth arrives, it is not a windfall, it is the natural outcome of years of preparation. You are ready. You are stable. You are unshakable. You are disgustingly rich, not because of luck, but because of mastery over yourself and over life. So embrace the boring life. Cherish the discipline. Love the repetition. Respect the silence. Let the world think you are dull. Let the world chase excitement and fail. Let the world burn themselves out while you quietly rise. A boring life is not weakness, it is the ultimate weapon. It is patience. It is strategy. It is power. It is control. It is self-mastery. And above all, it is the fastest, surest, and most unstoppable path to becoming disgustingly rich. Remember, the life that looks boring is the life that wins everything. The life that looks ordinary is the life that leaves everyone else in the dust. And those who understand this secret, those who embrace a boring, disciplined, predictable, strategic life will not only survive the chaos of the world, they will dominate it. If you want, I can also add rhetorical pauses, repetition of key phrases, and punchy Machiavellian hooks throughout, so it sounds like a hypnotic 25 to 30-minute delivery that could be performed as a speech or narrated. For a video, this version will feel cinematic and commanding. The world fears the boring life because it exposes weakness. It exposes the inability of most people to delay gratification. It exposes the fragility of minds addicted to distraction. And that is why the boring life is the secret of the rich, the strategic, and the unstoppable. When others panic, you stay calm. When others react, you act. When others chase, you wait. And in the waiting, in the silence, in the repetition, you accumulate what they cannot even imagine. Every morning, every simple task, every repetition is an act of accumulation. It is a brick in the fortress of wealth and power. People laugh at you. They call it monotony. They mistake boredom for weakness. But that is precisely the advantage. While they are burning energy proving themselves to the world, you are building value, influence, and freedom quietly, invisibly, systematically. They are busy showing off what they have. You are busy becoming what they will never be. A boring life trains your mind to see opportunity where others see only chaos. It trains your mind to calculate risk with clarity. It trains your mind to prioritize what matters and ignore what does not. The loud, chaotic lives of others are predictable. They lead to mistakes, losses, and wasted energy. But your boring life is unpredictable in its power. To the world, you are simple. To the world, you are ordinary. To the world, you are boring. But beneath that ordinary exterior, you are a force of strategy, patience, and inevitability. The most disgustingly rich people are invisible before they explode. They do not announce their actions. They do not seek approval. They do not react to emotion. They are invisible architects of their future, and invisibility comes from a boring life. When you are consistent, disciplined, and calm, you operate above the chaos. You are not affected by fear, greed, or desire. You are not manipulated by the opinions of others. You are free to build, free to grow, free to dominate. A boring life is the ultimate defense against chaos. It protects your time, your energy, and your mind. Most people are slaves to distraction, losing hours, days, years to impulses they cannot control. But you, by living boringly, are sovereign over your most valuable asset, your attention. Attention is power. Attention is wealth. Attention is the only currency that, when invested wisely, produces exponential returns, and a boring life gives you that currency in abundance. This is why those who embrace boredom rise while others fall. They rise silently, without drama, without spectacle, without applause. The world never notices the quiet work that produces extraordinary results. The world only sees the explosion at the end. They never understand the years of discipline, the long, boring, repetitive grind. They never see the patience, the strategic thinking, the careful avoidance of chaos. And because the world cannot see it, they cannot stop it. Every choice in a boring life is deliberate. Every action is filtered through strategy. Every decision is made with foresight. This is the art of control. This is the art of influence. This is the art of building wealth that cannot be destroyed. Those who chase excitement live in reaction. Those who embrace boredom live in control. And control is the ultimate form of power. Your boring life also makes you invisible to envy and manipulation. People cannot distract you. They cannot tempt you. They cannot weaken you with drama, gossip, or opinion. You are self-contained, self-sufficient, and self-mastery has made you immune. And in that immunity, wealth flows, influence flows, power flows, because the chaotic world cannot penetrate the fortress you have built through patience, repetition, and discipline. The boring life is also the ultimate amplifier of learning. While others chase trends, you study. While others pursue immediate pleasure, you focus on skill, strategy, and knowledge. Every skill you master, every insight you gain, every habit you perfect compounds over time. And compounding is the engine of exponential wealth. Money, influence, opportunity, all of it flows naturally to the patient, the disciplined, the invisible strategist. Most people will never understand the boring life. They will mock it, fear it, and dismiss it. They will say life is too short to live like that. But life is short for those who waste it. Life is long for those who build quietly, consistently, and deliberately. And when your life reaches its peak, when your wealth, influence, and power arrive, they will look at you and call it luck. They will call it magic. They will never see the boring, disciplined life that created it. So embrace boredom, embrace repetition, embrace discipline. Let the world chase excitement, chaos, and validation. Let the world be loud, chaotic, and impulsive. You, meanwhile, will be silent. You will be deliberate. You will be consistent. You will be disciplined. You will be strategic. And in the silence of your boring life, you will rise. You will grow. You will accumulate. You will dominate. Remember this. The life that looks boring is the life that wins everything. The life that seems ordinary is the life that leaves everyone else behind. The life that appears uneventful is the life that becomes unstoppable. And those who understand this secret, those who embrace the boring life with ruthless consistency, will not only survive the chaos of the world, they will own it. Do not seek excitement. Do not chase attention. Do not fall for fleeting pleasure. Seek discipline. Seek consistency. Seek the boring life. Let it sharpen you. Let it strengthen you. Let it make you invisible and untouchable. Let it transform you into someone the world cannot understand, the world cannot influence, and the world cannot defeat. Because the boring life is not a punishment. It is a strategy. It is a weapon. It is the ultimate secret to being disgustingly rich. And in the end, your boring life will look nothing like the ordinary life others see. It will look like victory, mastery, and domination. It will look like power. It will look like wealth that no one can challenge. And those who mocked you, those who laughed, those who envied they will watch from the sidelines as you rise, unstoppable, untouchable, and disgustingly rich. If you want, I can also create the final ultra-polished version where I weave in rhetorical pauses and repetition for hypnotic effect hooks every 30 to 45 seconds to keep attention Machiavellian direct. Audience commands fully timed for a 30-minute speech. This would read like a professional motivational speech script. You are surrounded by chaos. The world is loud, frantic, and addicted to drama. People are slaves to impulses, addictions, social approval, and fleeting pleasures. They wake up tired, distracted, and overwhelmed. They chase excitement and complain when life gives them hardship. But you, if you understand the power of a boring life, you are different. You are immune. You are strategic. You are untouchable. Your life may look calm, simple, even dull. But beneath that calm, a storm is building. A storm of wealth, influence, and power that the chaotic world cannot even imagine. The boring life is not boring. It is intentional. It is precise. It is deliberate. It is focused. It is controlled. Every hour you spend deliberately, every decision made with foresight, every habit repeated with discipline is a brick in the fortress of your future. While others waste energy reacting to chaos, you are building control. While others burn time proving themselves, you are stacking power. While others chase validation, you chase mastery. And mastery, over time, produces results that are unstoppable. Most people are terrified of boredom because it exposes weakness. They fear the silence because in the silence they hear the truth. They are not disciplined. They are not strategic. They are not in control. They are victims of impulse, distraction, and emotion. And that fear drives them further into chaos. They chase sensation. They chase drama. They chase noise. And every chase leaves them weaker, poorer, and less capable of building real wealth. But you, by embracing boredom, step out of the trap. You escape the chaos. You protect your attention. You preserve your energy. You control your mind. And control of your mind is the ultimate form of power. With it, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. You calculate moves where others react. You act when others panic. And you rise while others fall, unnoticed, invisible, unstoppable. The boring life teaches patience, and patience is lethal. Every delay of gratification, every refusal of temptation, every repetition of disciplined action strengthens you in ways the chaotic world will never understand. Patience allows you to strike at the perfect moment. Patience allows your wealth to compound silently. Patience allows influence to grow in ways that look like magic to those who chase instant results. The patient, disciplined, boring strategist always wins. Always. Without exception. The world worships excitement, yet excitement destroys. It distracts, it misleads, it traps. Those addicted to novelty, drama, and sensation are slaves. But a boring life frees you from all chains. You operate above reaction. You are calm when others panic. You are deliberate when others flounder. You are strategic when others are chaotic. And in that calm, you create wealth and power that cannot be stolen, cannot be shaken, and cannot be destroyed. Every habit, every repetition, every boring routine is a weapon. Your mornings are not mundane, they are investments. Your disciplined work is not dull, it is compounding. Your patience is not weakness, it is strategy. And as the years pass, these small, deliberate actions accumulate into something unstoppable. Money, influence, respect, and power follow naturally, almost automatically, to those who master the boring life. The boring life is invisible. The chaotic world cannot perceive it. They laugh at your calm mornings, your careful planning. You need drama. You need only discipline, strategy, and execution. And that self-mastery produces wealth. That self-mastery produces influence. That self-mastery produces power that the chaotic world cannot resist. A boring life amplifies clarity. The world is loud with distraction, noise, and confusion. Few people can see through it. Fewer can act strategically. But your boring life creates mental space. You think clearly, you act deliberately. You predict outcomes, you see opportunity, and opportunity, when met with preparation and discipline, turns into unstoppable success. The boring life also protects your relationships. You no longer waste time with toxic people, shallow connections, or frivolous distractions. You surround yourself with allies who understand value, patience, and strategy. You form circles that amplify power. You avoid chaos while others are trapped in it. And in this selective environment, wealth, influence, and control grow exponentially. Do not fear monotony. Do not fear repetition. Do not fear discipline. Each act of consistency, each refusal of distraction, each day of deliberate action is a step toward domination. The world sees only the end result, but you know the truth. Wealth and power are built silently, invisibly, and boringly. Every great empire, every strategic victory, every unstoppable individual started with the same thing: a life controlled, disciplined, and free from chaos. And when the world finally notices, they will call it luck. They will call it magic. They will never understand the years of repetition, patience, and invisible work that made it possible. They will never know the secret. The boring life is the life that wins everything. The life that looks ordinary is the life that becomes extraordinary. The life that feels dull today is the life that becomes unstoppable tomorrow. So embrace the boring life. Cherish it. Protect it. Build it. Let the world chase chaos while you accumulate power. Let the world seek excitement while you build clarity. Let the world burn energy while you preserve focus. Let the world panic while you strike. Let the world waste their lives while you grow yours. And in the end, you will rise untouchable, unstoppable, and disgustingly rich. Remember this: the boring life is your weapon, your shield, and your strategy. It is invisible to the weak, but lethal to the unprepared. It is calm, deliberate, and disciplined. It is patient, strategic, and compounding. And it is the ultimate secret to wealth, influence, and power that no one else can match. Those who mock it, those who laugh, those who fail, they will all watch as you rise above, quietly, methodically, and without distraction. They will envy your focus. They will fear your discipline. They will marvel at your results. And they will never understand the secret they ignored, that the boring life is not weakness. The boring life is power. The boring life is wealth. The boring life is domination. Live boringly. Live deliberately. Live with strategy. And the world, in all its chaos, will eventually bow to the results of your quiet, unstoppable, disciplined life. If you want, I can now polish this into a final cinematic speech version with time pauses, repetition cues, and audience hooks, so it reads perfectly for a full 30-minute delivery as if Machiavelli himself were narrating it. This would make it hypnotic, mesmerizing, and commanding. You are surrounded by chaos. The world is loud, frantic, and addicted to drama. People are slaves to impulses, addictions, social approval, and fleeting pleasures. They wake up tired, distracted, and overwhelmed. They chase excitement and complain when life gives them hardship. But you, if you understand the power of a boring life, you are different. You are immune. You are strategic. You are untouchable. Your life may look calm, simple, even dull on the surface. But beneath that calm, a storm is building. A storm of wealth, influence, and power that the chaotic world can't even imagine. The boring life isn't actually boring. It's intentional. It's precise. It's deliberate. It's focused. It is controlled. Every single hour you spend deliberately, every decision made with foresight, Every habit repeated with discipline is a brick in the fortress of your future. While others are wasting their energy reacting to chaos, you are building control. While others burn their time trying to prove themselves to everyone, you are stacking power. While others chase validation from strangers on the internet, you chase mastery. And mastery, over time, produces results that are simply unstoppable. Most people are terrified of boredom because it exposes their weaknesses. They fear the silence because in the silence they hear the truth. They are not disciplined. They are not strategic. They are not in control. They are victims of impulse, distraction, and emotion. And that fear drives them further into chaos. They chase sensation. They chase drama. They chase noise. And every single chase leaves them weaker, poorer, and less capable of building real wealth. But you, by embracing boredom, you step out of the trap. You escape the chaos. You protect your attention. You preserve your energy. You control your mind. And control of your mind is the ultimate form of power. With it, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. You calculate moves where others react emotionally. You act with precision when others panic. And you rise while others fall, unnoticed, invisible, unstoppable. The boring life teaches you patience, and patience is a lethal weapon. Every delay of gratification, every refusal of temptation, every single repetition of a disciplined action strengthens you in ways the chaotic world will never, ever understand. Patience allows you to strike at the perfect moment. Patience allows your wealth to compound silently in the background. Patience allows your influence to grow in ways that look like magic to those who are constantly chasing instant results. The patient, disciplined, boring strategist always wins. Always. Without exception. The world worships excitement, yet excitement destroys. It distracts you, it misleads you, it traps you. Those who are addicted to novelty, drama, and constant sensation are slaves. But a boring life frees you from all of those chains. You operate above reaction. You are calm when others panic. You are deliberate when others flounder. You are strategic when others are chaotic. And in that calm, you create wealth and power that cannot be stolen, cannot be shaken, and cannot be destroyed. Every habit, every repetition, every boring routine is a weapon. Your mornings are not mundane, they are investments in your future. Your disciplined work is not dull, it is compounding your success. Your patience is not a weakness, it is your greatest strategy. And as the years pass, these small, deliberate actions accumulate into something unstoppable. Money, influence, respect, and power follow naturally, almost automatically, to those who master the boring life. The boring life is invisible. The chaotic world cannot perceive it. They laugh at your calm mornings, your careful planning, your repetitive routines. They call you dull, unambitious, ordinary. But while they are burning their energy, attention, and focus chasing sensation, you are becoming extraordinary. They are exhausted by chaos. You are energized by consistency. They are weak. You are unstoppable. Self-mastery is the core of this entire strategy. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions, their fears, their desires. They are slaves to impulse. You, by contrast, have trained yourself. You wake up, you act, and you focus regardless of the circumstances. You do not need validation. You do not need excitement. You do not need drama. You need only three things: discipline, strategy, and execution. And that self-mastery produces wealth. That self-mastery produces influence. That self-mastery produces a power that the chaotic world simply cannot resist. A boring life also amplifies your clarity. The world is loud with distraction, noise, and confusion. Very few people can see through it. Even fewer can act strategically. But your boring life creates mental space. In that space, you think clearly. You act deliberately. You predict outcomes. You see opportunity. And opportunity, when met with preparation and discipline, turns into unstoppable success. The boring life also protects your relationships. You no longer waste time with toxic people, shallow connections, or frivolous distractions. You surround yourself with allies who understand value, patience, and strategy. You form circles that amplify power. You avoid chaos while others are trapped in it. And in this selective environment, wealth, influence, and control grow exponentially. So do not fear monotony. Do not fear repetition. Do not fear discipline. Each act of consistency, each refusal of distraction, each day of deliberate action is a step toward domination. The world only ever sees the end result, but you know the truth. Wealth and power are built silently, invisibly, and boringly. Every great empire, every strategic victory, every unstoppable individual started with the exact same thing in life: that was controlled. disciplined, and free from chaos. And when the world finally notices you, they will call it luck. They will call it magic. They will never understand the years of repetition, patience, and invisible work that made it all possible. They will never know the secret. The boring life is the life that wins everything. The life that looks ordinary is the life that becomes extraordinary. The life that feels dull today is the life that becomes unstoppable tomorrow. So embrace the boring life. Cherish it. Protect it. Build it. Let the world chase chaos while you accumulate power. Let the world seek excitement while you build clarity. Let the world burn energy while you preserve your focus. Let the world panic while you strike. Let the world waste their lives while you grow yours. And in the end, you will rise untouchable, unstoppable, and disgustingly rich. Remember this, the boring life is your weapon, your shield, and your strategy. It is invisible to the weak, but lethal to the unprepared. It is calm, deliberate, and disciplined. It is patient, strategic, and compounding, and it is the ultimate secret to wealth, influence, and power that no one else can match. Those who mock it, those who laugh, those who fail, they will all watch as you rise above them, quietly, methodically, and without distraction. They will envy your focus. They will fear your discipline. They will marvel at your results. And they will never, ever understand the secret they ignored, that the boring life is not weakness. The boring life is power. The boring life is wealth. The boring life is domination. Live boringly. Live deliberately. Live with strategy. And the world, in all its chaos, will eventually bow to the results of your quiet, unstoppable, disciplined life. Thanks for watching. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel for more. When you finally understand the power of a boring life, something quietly shifts inside you. You stop chasing noise. You stop craving constant entertainment. You no longer feel the need to impress anyone, and without announcing it, you begin building the kind of wealth and power that loud, chaotic people can't even imagine. Machiavelli understood this long before the modern world existed. The person who controls their impulses controls their destiny. A boring life isn't empty, it's discipline. And discipline is the root of every empire. People who live exciting lives are always running from silence, running from themselves, running from the uncomfortable truth that they can't sit still. They need constant stimulation because they have no inner structure. But the person who can live a so-called boring life becomes dangerous. Your routines sharpen your edges. Your habits turn into invisible weapons. Every hour that others waste trying to escape boredom, you invest into growing your mind, your skills, your money, and your influence. Over time, the gap becomes brutally obvious. They become tired, scattered, dull. You become sharper, richer, harder to stop. Wealth loves stability. Power loves predictability. Opportunity loves people who show up again and again, without drama, distraction, or emotional chaos. A boring life doesn't mean you lack ambition. It means your ambition is so powerful that you don't have energy to waste on anything that pulls you off your path. You wake up at the same time. You do the same work. You study when others scroll. You rest when others chase pleasure. You plant seeds while others burn time. In 1 year, you are ahead. In 3 years, you are unrecognizable. In 10 years, you are untouchable. Machiavelli warned that people fall not because of weakness, but because they let passion rule them. Passion burns fast. Discipline burns slow, steady, and unstoppable. The boring person masters their emotions instead of letting emotions dictate their life. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on structure. They don't wait for inspiration. They create momentum through consistent action. This is why they get rich. Money flows to people who are reliable enough to manage it, disciplined enough to multiply it, and calm enough not to lose it. The world will try to distract you. Social media will tempt you with highlight reels that make your quiet life seem small. Friends will tell you to loosen up. Society will glorify chaos as living fully, but Machiavelli would laugh at that. Real power is never loud. Real wealth doesn't need to show itself. The most dangerous people are always the ones you underestimate, silent, predictable, and quietly aggressive in their pursuit of mastery. A boring life forces you to confront the parts of yourself that would otherwise stay hidden. You begin to see your weaknesses clearly. You identify your patterns. You notice your laziness, your fears, your excuses, and when you see them, you can kill them. This is how a seemingly dull routine turns a person into a sharpened blade. You become self-aware, self-controlled, and self-directed. You stop reacting and instead begin choosing every single action with intention. And when you choose your actions, you choose your future. Every great thinker, every builder of wealth, every quiet genius followed the same formula: reduce noise, increase clarity; reduce chaos, increase focus; reduce entertainment, increase skill. What looks boring on the outside is transformative on the inside. Your daily habits begin compounding. Your mind becomes calm. Your decisions become sharper. Your work becomes deeper. And slowly, you separate from the average. The truth is that people lose wealth for the same reason they lose time. They can handle simplicity. They complicate their days with emotional drama, impulsive choices, unnecessary battles, and endless distractions. But you simplify. You narrow your life down to what actually creates results. You stop chasing dopamine and start chasing mastery. You stop chasing pleasure and start chasing purpose. You stop chasing people and start chasing your own evolution. That is when life becomes almost boringly profitable. Your investments grow. Your skills grow. Your opportunities grow. People begin trusting you because you are consistent. You execute without noise. You deliver without excuses. You are reliable in a world full of unstable minds. That reliability becomes money. That calmness becomes power. That discipline becomes status. And here is the part nobody tells you. The boring life you build in silence eventually gives you the freedom to live any life you want. You enjoy boredom now so you never have to struggle later. You sacrifice excitement today so you can live with abundance tomorrow. You choose the slow grind so you can enjoy the fast rewards. Machiavelli understood that the strongest leaders were the ones who lived with intentional simplicity. They removed distractions. They restricted their impulses. They controlled their environment. They trained their mind to thrive in quiet. And because of that, they were always 10 steps ahead of the rest. Your life becomes disgustingly rich when you realize that boredom is not the enemy. It is the training ground for greatness. Every moment of silence strengthens you. Every repetitive task builds your discipline. Every quiet day pushes you further from the world of chaos and deeper into the world of mastery. What others call boring, you will one day call freedom. Because while they were busy looking for excitement, you were building a life they will never catch up to.